Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, I'm joined by freshman from the Stonehill women's hockey team, Brianna Walkom. Brianna, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, I really appreciate that. Now, your team is coming off your program's first win and sweep in D1 history, beating Post. How important was that win for your team, and just how important was that series for your team to get a couple wins under your belt as you move on to the throughout your first half of the season?
Honestly, we're just getting started. We knew from the start that our team had the potential to be great. And going into our first league games, we just wanted to showcase that. Post was great competition for us, but we really showed what we are capable of. And we're a young team and establish our values for months now. So it feels so good to be a part of it and bring it all together. The best is yet to come for us, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, and obviously, what's it like being a player on a team that won its first D1 game? That must be kind of a unique thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it feels so good to just like be a part of that and like know that you're honestly making an impact on the people around you. Like being a new team, it's like hard to make that change, but we all came together, we're all freshmen, we all knew what we were capable of, and we kind of just came out there and showed us what we're made of.
Now, coming into your first season in college hockey, what goals and expectations did you have for yourself, and what goals and expectations do you have for your team as well?
Although it's our first year, I'm definitely setting the bar high. I think we definitely have the capability to be a successful team. And, we're going to really emphasize that our program's being built and, it's our motto is manufacturing a legacy. So that's our overall goal. We're here to create a strong base for the program that will just keep getting better and better for years to come. Personally, I would do anything for this team, and my goal for this season is to be consistently supportive and have a growth mindset in any situation to bring our team to our highest potential.
Now, talk a little bit about your off season. How did you prepare for this upcoming year, for your first year in college hockey, and what do you think is the biggest improvement you've made to your game so far this season?
Yeah, so the off season was definitely a grind. I would say even for myself in the summer, just like coming into it, the workouts and definitely getting into that mindset of, you're about to be a college hockey player, like you're going from U19 hockey to NCAA. It's a huge shift and you just got to get yourself prepared. So mentally and physically, I was pushing myself to the max. And even getting here, like the off season was a grind, like the first couple of weeks we were pushing ourselves in the gym, on the ice, and we were just we had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that was definitely one of the things that I improved on the most is just getting myself in that mindset that, I'm always going to have to put myself into uncomfortable situations. I'm going to have to start getting used to it. And, I'm just going to have to like push myself to my highest potential at all times, like even at practice and at workouts. Like I have to showcase what I have in order to get, that ice time and those goals and what I'm expecting of myself.
Now, let's transition a little bit and talk about the beginning of your hockey career and kind of work all the way up to where you are today in college. So, it says on your Elite Prospects bio that you're from Pennsylvania. So, talk about growing up there and how'd you start playing hockey?
Yeah, so in Pennsylvania, I grew up in a little suburb out of Pittsburgh called Moon Township. It's about 10 minutes away from Robert Morris University. So I grew up playing for their little youth program. They had little NHL teams. So like the Detroit Red Wings, I played for the Maple Leafs at one point. Like I grew up playing like in-house league for a little bit, and then I played boys hockey in order to make me tough, like my dad says all the time. And I played girls hockey from the very beginning, from being 8 years old to 19. I played for Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. And I think just growing up in a community where like hockey wasn't super popular, but it was definitely growing was important. And I think it kind of ties into being here at Stonehill. Like women's hockey definitely wasn't big here. It's a brand new program, brand new thing. People are finally starting to turn their attention into this like girls hockey aspect of things. And that's exactly what happened in PA when I was growing up playing hockey. So I think it's kind of cool to see that this like same consistent feeling is coming into being an athlete here at Stonehill.
Yeah, I'm curious, how did your interest in hockey start? Was it from like a sibling or family member, or did it just kind of start from yourself?
Yeah, so my siblings both played growing up. My sister's 9 years older than me, my brother 5. My sister played at Penn State and my brother played at Bentley. So they both, had a huge impact on me growing up. I would say they both got into hockey from my dad. He's been involved in the hockey community, he works in the NHL, he's the director of officiating. So just having that tie to hockey and just being able to like watch my siblings grow up and be just so consistent in their hockey like dreams, and they knew what they wanted to do, they knew they wanted to play Division 1, definitely pushed me to do the same, and I think they definitely were the biggest role models to me growing up.
That's pretty cool that your dad's the head of officiating. What's that like? That seems like a tough job because you probably get so many complaints from the teams about like calls that should have gone this way or that way. So he must do a good job handling it though, because that's a position that I feel bad for refs. I feel like they get a bad rep sometimes, but it's honestly like the hardest job in hockey.
I know, I agree. He definitely has a tough time sometimes, but he loves his job. I mean, he loves the people that work around him. I feel like the NHL community is just great. The hockey community in general is just a great place to be. So I think that definitely helps me because I see like where he comes from. He has all these great people around him, and I think I just want to like do the same. So,
Who was your favorite player growing up? I'm assuming it has to be Crosby being from
oh,
Pittsburgh.
yeah, 100%. Sidney Crosby. I think any kid that grows up in Pittsburgh, that's like your dream. You want to be Sidney Crosby. He's just like a two-way forward. He's all over the place, goal scorer, playmaker. And he's just like, I don't know, he's just the one everyone looks up to.
Yeah, and obviously I was reading something about Pittsburgh hockey and how it's growing and how Logan Cooley was the highest draft pick from like a Pittsburgh player that was the highest draft pick in the NHL. So it seems like that's definitely an area like you alluded to that's growing, which is cool to see. I like seeing different areas that aren't known for hockey starting to grow. You're seeing it in Arizona, Southern California, now Pittsburgh, which is really cool for someone like me who's growing up in an area that's hockey's already very popular in.
Yeah, I mean, like Pittsburgh's definitely growing all over the place. I mean, like all over Pittsburgh's popping up like hockey places all over the place, new rinks everywhere, new programs. I mean, it's great to see that this growth is just coming everywhere. And I know like girls hockey in general, we came from, a team like that had barely enough girls to make teams. And like we grew to be a program with multiple teams, with multiple birth years and multiple age groups. Like, I don't know, it's just great to see this growth ever since I was a little girl. Like I had to play with boys because there wasn't enough for girls teams. So now like you see that growth. I was finally able to play on a team like full of girls for my U14 through U19 years. And I think just being able to see people engaging themselves in a new sport and looking to something that's like, I don't know, not like the ordinary thing in Pittsburgh. It's just great. Like everyone's starting to love the game of hockey, and that's what you want, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to ask you about your experience before Stonehill because it says you played for the Pittsburgh Penguins elite program where you helped lead them to a district championship. Talk about your experience there and what was that like for you?
Yeah, so Pittsburgh Penguins Elite was definitely one of the best decisions of my life. Just being able to be a part of a program that was just had your back in every different aspect of your life. Like they were always there for you, and like you knew you were always there for them. And I honestly created families in every single team that I was on. Like every single team felt like family, and the people, the coaches, like everything, like everyone was just so supportive. And I think Pensley organization in general just definitely helped me become the person that I am. Just growing from an 8-year-old girl to a 19-year-old last year. Like I played for so many years, and just being able to be a part of the same program and make an impact on it going through the age groups is just definitely like a fulfilling feeling to myself and even the Pensley organization, because they know that they had an impact on me so much that I stayed with them, I stuck with them, and I ended up like helping bring other girls in. And just being able to see girls come in and out of the organization, become successful, go on to play NCAA. And, I wanted to be like them, and having role models and then turning into a role model was just a great experience to have.
Yeah, and talk about how that experience helped prepare you for college hockey because one thing I found interesting about yourself is most women's hockey players, from my experience, right after they graduate high school, when they're 18, they go straight into college hockey. However, you were 19 and still played another year in juniors. I guess what led to that decision and how did it help prepare you to go to Stonehill the following season?
Yeah, so COVID definitely screwed a couple things up when it came to the recruiting process. And, I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do after high school. So, I decided like why not take the opportunity to play my second year of U19? Because, I was a young U19. I only played 1 year. So, I took that second year option and I decided just to focus on hockey for the year, push myself both on and off the ice, and kind of take the year to focus on myself. In doing that, like, I really improved my game. I improved my self-worth. Like, I knew what I was capable of, and I knew I was capable of playing Division 1. And I'm so happy that I did that because Stonehill reached out and it was just the perfect fit for me, like both on and off the ice, all over the place, academics and athletically. I'm so happy I made that decision.
Now, I do have to ask you a question because I had Mackenzie King on a couple of months ago, and she played for the U Penn's 8 Elite program. So I have to ask what it was like being her teammate because she's one of my favorite players to watch in college hockey, and I have to assume you guys were close friends on that team.
Yeah, so Mackenzie King's actually my best friend. So,
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good
I
guess
always
back for
looked up to
me.
her. Yeah, it was for sure. Yeah, so she's always been a role model to me. She's always been a year older than me. She was always on like an older team, like every other year. So, I mean, I always looked up to her as a player and an athlete. And, she was always just someone I loved to watch because she was all over the place, always touching the puck. And she was just someone you just loved to be around because her personality is just so out there. She just loves to help people. She loves to be there for people. And I think having her, having my back at all times and just always being someone I can look up to is definitely important in my life. And I definitely thank her for helping me get through the last few years of Pennsylvania hockey.
Now, you already answered this question a little bit, but talk about your recruitment process to Stonehill, and I guess what made you want to go to that school versus other ones you might have looked at.
Yeah, so Stonehill, what drew it from the others was just the fact that like Tara and Megan, through the recruiting process, they were just so welcoming to me and they like wanted me to come on campus right away. And it was just so nice to just have coaches that like really wanted you there. So like as soon as I visited, I knew like what a welcoming community it was. And just like all the people around, like they were just so welcoming. Like they said hi to you when you walked by, and like the campus was beautiful. And Tara and Megan, they just really like knew what they wanted. Like they had an idea for a team, like they had what they wanted in mind. And I think just being able to become a part of that and just knowing what they wanted and knowing that you could make an impact on what they had in mind and like their goals and expectations as a team was just, I think, like so intriguing to me. And I just knew like Stonehill was a fit immediately after that visit.
Now, what's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make to college hockey?
Well, like college hockey is definitely a jump from U19. I would say the speed in general, just like keeping up with the play, having to back check and forecheck, just back and forth, and then like keeping in mind your shift length because you don't want to have too long of a shift. Because your coaches will reward you if you play well. So if you're having a really good shift, like they'll reward you, they'll put you back on. And I think the biggest adjustment for me was just keeping up with the speed, working on my skating, knowing that I have to go 120% every single shift and like no in between. I couldn't take any shifts off. And I think that was definitely the biggest jump from U19 hockey because I think sometimes people thought it was just fun and games. Like some people were just there to play and they didn't want to go on to the next level. And I think in NCAA and Division 1, it's just everybody is there to make a difference. Everybody is there to push themselves to the maximum speed and maximum effort that they can in order to show that they are meant to be there. They want to make a difference. And I think that's probably the biggest jump.
Now, obviously, how have you balanced academics and hockey? Because after having a year off from that, that must be kind of an adjustment for yourself to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, so I'm a biology major, so the workload is definitely not easy. And just having to balance it with both like practice and lift every single day is definitely a grind. But, I honestly just had to learn how to effectively manage my time and, know that I can do it as a player and athlete. Like I know that I can be able to pursue my academics in all aspects and being able to balance and work on my time management, utilize all the resources that they have at Stonehill just like made me realize what I'm capable of. And it was definitely a tough adjustment, but I made it work.
Now, talk about Coach Tar for a little bit. What's it like playing under her? And it must be cool to play for a gold medalist.
Yeah, she is the best. Coach Tara is definitely someone I look up to 24/7. She has so many great ideas. She knows exactly what she wants in a team. And I think just her ideals and values, and she knows that you have to work on yourself before putting it out on the ice. And she knows like what she wants in a team. And I think just having her like and her background and her just ideas and everything she wants out of a team is just so important because having her and having such a great coach, like we know that we have the potential to be great because of all of her ideas that she's pouring onto us. And I think like being able to utilize what she's giving us and utilize the resources that she's handing to us, like we know that we have to use those to our advantage. And I think Coach Tara honestly has just been so amazing to us. She's given us everything that we need in order to be such a successful team. And I think that's like the one thing our team definitely holds close to our heart. Like we know Coach Tara wants us there. We know Coach Tara like recruited us for a reason. And I think just being able to play out all of the resources that she's handing to us is so important to us as a team. So we definitely play for her in all aspects of our game.
Now, you played your very first college hockey game against UConn to start off the season. Even though the game really didn't go your way, I have to ask, what emotions were you feeling after you played your first collegiate game? Because that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, we were all definitely really, really nervous just going into it. We were all shaky, a little nervous. And going into game two, like we knew what to expect. Like after the game, we were a little like, wow, we just played our first NCAA game. Like that's crazy. It didn't even feel real. And I think just after the game, like going into game two, like we knew what to expect. Like we knew how we played as a team. And I think after we got all those nerves and after we got all the jitteriness out of us, and I think we knew like what we had to do in order to fix it. Like we had to shine through in like our passes and scoring chances. And I think like even looking back to our first game, we had no shots in the first period. And then you look at the second game and like we had definitely more than five. And honestly, it was definitely a mindset thing for us. Like after the first game, like we knew we had to come out faster than we did. And UConn was definitely not expecting us to come out the way that we did because we were so fired up after that first NCAA game. We knew, we didn't want to have that first impression. And we were just like, okay, we got to come out there and just bring out our full potential. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, and since this is the first year of Stonehill being a D1 team, how have you guys tried to bonded with each other as teammates since none of you guys probably knew each other coming in? So how has that experience been like getting to know your teammates better?
Yeah, I would say right from the bat, I think we all connected instantly. I would say like we were all in the same boat at first, like with COVID and stuff. Like I would say a lot of us had the same experience in recruiting and, it's a broad mix of hockey players coming from all over the place. We're just such a big, diverse group of girls. And I think, Tara knew exactly what she was doing when she recruited us. She recruited us for all different reasons and just being able to bring it all together. I think just, we knew we were going to be a team for 4 years because there's like 18 freshmen on the team. We knew we were going to be together for a majority of our lives. So, we were just like, we just knew from the start that we were going to be family. So I think that's how we connected so fast and going through some pretty awesome team activities like rowing. We went rowing as a team, which was so great. And then we did boxing, which was pretty cool. So like being able to go through those team activities and just connect as a team, I think was just so easy for us because we just knew what to expect. And we were familiar with each other from our Zoom meetings in the summer. And I think right away we're just like, oh, like I know you. Like it was just so easy to become like friends with these girls because, everyone was just so welcoming. And I don't know, it was just awesome to be able to connect finally with the girls after talking to them all summer on the computer.
Who's the best boxer on the team?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. And I think it would be kind of selfish to say myself. So I'm gonna have to go with Lucy Turcott, my roommate.
Nice, nice. That must be fun. I've always wanted to box. It looks cool. It's a good workout, and I don't know. It seems fun to just like get all your anger out because I feel
Yeah,
like that's what boxing does.
it was super fun. It honestly was such a different experience because I know I've never boxed before personally, and I don't think a lot of my teammates have either. And I don't think we were expecting to be sweating like from the start. So we were like super gassed afterwards. But it was so cool because we know how to do like our 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3 like punches now. So I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Well, I know there's no fighting in college hockey, but if there had to be, you guys would probably be the most ready team for any sort of physical combat.
Oh yeah, we would be ready for it. We know our punches. We know how to protect ourselves. So
Now, speaking of teammates, who's like the funniest teammate on the team?
funniest teammate, Alexis Petford. She's from Saskatchewan. She is the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
Now, who has the best style on the team? Like, I assume it's got to be you, but besides yourself, who would you say has the best style?
Besides myself, I would say Maddie Actel. She always has the best game day fits.
Nice. I need to see some of them. I like how all the teams post that stuff before the game. I haven't seen Stonehill post anything. So
I know,
if your
I know.
social media person's listening to this, I just want to say we'd love to see it be featured on CHT's IG.
I actually know that Mary Gettins, which is our student manager, she said she's gonna put a game day fits post up on Friday. So
Oh,
be ready
awesome.
for it.
All right. Well, then some of you guys might be featured on Monday when we do the outfits of the week. It's hard to get
Nice.
on, and I've
Yeah.
been normally the women's players do a good job of showing out their game day fits, but I will say this year the men's players have stepped up their game. There's been a lot of good outfits from that side of things, so I think it's gonna be very competitive to see who will be the most fashionable college hockey player at the end of the season when we
Oh,
do our
definitely.
awards.
Huge competition between the women's and men's teams.
So I feel like I don't know. We'll see. I hope I don't I want you to be at least considered for it. So that's why I always
Yeah.
encourage everyone to dress out their best and post on their social media feed so we can post it. And I don't know. It's something that I enjoy. I like seeing the personality outside the rink as well.
Yeah, it's great. I honestly love seeing your Instagram posts of the fits of the week. I think that's great.
Who had the best one this week? If you had the chance to see it.
Honestly, I loved the all pink suits. That was my favorite. That was definitely outfit inspo for my next coming games.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we'll see if it happens. I'll be curious to see if it happens. But my personal one was probably either the yellow suit that guy wore with the hat. I thought that
Oh
was
yeah,
interesting.
that's good.
But I also really like the classic suit look, like the blue shirt, tie, and like jacket. I feel like you can't go wrong with that. And if you can
No,
pull it
no.
off, like it always looks good. So that's something that I enjoy wearing occasionally if I have the chance because I like showing off that style.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the people who are the best dressed, this were the most like out. It's either the most simple things or the most outgoing things. There's no in
Yeah.
between.
Now, speaking of games, what game are you most looking forward to this year? Have you already played it, or is there one game on the schedule that I'm like, I can't wait to be playing in that?
Our first game against the University of Moncton, honestly, I was just so excited to play a game with the Stonehill team because like we had already been together for weeks on campus. We were so ready to just get on the ice, suit up, play a game. Like that was just probably the highlight, the peak of our season, just because it was our first game. We were all so fired up. And then I think honestly, just the capability we have to make it to the NCAA championship this year, like through the new I think our team definitely has the potential to get there. And we have to see where the rest of the season takes us, but I think that definitely would be the highlight. That
Does,
would be something I'm most excited about.
does Nuha now have an automatic bid to the tournament? I didn't see that anywhere. That would be cool.
Yeah, this year we do.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome. I remember that wasn't the case the past few years. So basically just have to win the championship and you're in.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that seems easier said than done, but I think, your team seems like they worked hard. I watched one of your games, so and I feel like you guys definitely have the team to go on a run and make it happen.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. We have the potential, honestly. Like I feel like everybody brings something different to the table. So with our team, like you never know what's gonna happen. But I know that we definitely have the potential to just come out there and just show everybody what we got.
Now, what should be done to help grow women's hockey in your opinion? I like to ask all the women's players I have on this question. I'm curious from your perspective because I have my ideas, but obviously I'm just a fan and have no impact on the growth of the game, unlike yourself. So I'm curious what you have to say about it.
I honestly just think that our generation and like us older women's ice hockey players just has to keep helping with the youth hockey players because like if we're not around and we're not role models to them, then like, they're not going to want to play the sport. So we just have to keep giving back to the youth, like the little girls community and, just keep showing them what we got so they can show us what they got. And then that'll just keep growing the game as we get older.
Are you enjoying New England?
I love New England. I think it's such a great area. From the moment I honestly came to Boston for the first time, like we were always here for tournaments, like East Coast Wizards tournaments. We were always here, and I think just coming here and just being by the water and just like walking down Quincy Market, like it was just great to be down here. And I think I always knew from there that I wanted to go to school here, and just having the ability to honestly like start up a new program with Stonehill and just be in New England and honestly meet a bunch of New England people and just like I don't know, it's just such a different feel than Pennsylvania. And it's honestly just great, like to meet like a brand new community of people.
What do you think about us, Massachusetts folks? I'm curious. Everyone says that we're aggressive drivers and sort of mean people, but when you get to know us a little bit, I feel like that perspective was changed. I have to hear from an outsider or
Yeah,
from a person that's not from Mass.
aggressive drivers for sure. But it's
Yeah,
honestly like everybody I've met here is just so nice. Like, I don't
that's
know,
good.
no one has been like mean or rude. You always bump into those people like sometimes, no matter where you go. But in Massachusetts, I've never really had that problem. And I think just everyone I've met that's from Mass just is just so happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
will say, I feel like we get that reputation, the masshole reputation, which I don't get sometimes. I think maybe when you drive more, you'll understand it because we get very upset when people aren't moving fast enough. I think the thing I've noticed is I'm always in a rush. I want to get things done quickly. And I feel like people from the Midwest and other states are very like, hey, man, it's all good. And I hate that so much. I like stuff done more quickly. So that's probably like where the reputation comes from because, and maybe we're a little brutally honest with people sometimes, but I think that's a good thing occasionally.
yeah. All my teammates that are from Massachusetts are the best. So
Hmm.
I have nothing against anyone from Massachusetts. They have a bad rep for no reason.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like people from Philly too. So I
Yeah,
know you're a
no,
Pittsburgh
exactly.
person, but it's the same thing.
Exactly.
So obviously, I've always said I feel like all of the people that tour schools here in New England come in during the summertime, but I feel like in the fall is when New England is at its peak. So I have to ask you again, what's your thoughts in the fall here with the leaves changing? Because it's kind of poster card worthy sometimes.
Oh yeah. Honestly, it's the best. Just being able to drive and look at the leaves is just so nice. Like the color change is just beautiful. That's like my favorite part of fall. Just the color change, the things are changing. It's getting a little cold, but like not too cold.
Hmm.
I think just Massachusetts is definitely a poster card. It's like so pretty, like
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Yeah. I don't know. I agree. I think fall is the best season personally. Summer's way too hot for me. And honestly, all the bugs kind of bother me. So I'm not the biggest fan of summer. I think it's a bit overrated, but I will say I do enjoy having more free time in the summer, which makes it a good season. But fall is just the best. I think it's the best weather and the vibes are good in fall. And you have all the holidays like Halloween, Christmas. Oh, I guess not Christmas, but you know what I'm trying to say, the
yeah,
hype
yeah,
up to Christmas along
yeah.
with Thanksgiving. So I think that's why it's personally my favorite.
As soon as fall hits, you know that, you know,
Yeah.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like all of those are coming
Yeah.
up. That's
Yeah,
like the best
exactly.
feeling.
Yeah. Well, one more question I have to ask you is, do you have any shout outs you want to give to your teammates, family members, friends, former teammates? I know we shouted out Mackenzie and Coach Tara, but if there's anyone else you want to feel free to give them a shout out, do that now, or you can say whatever you want. This is your time to promote or do what you want to do.
Yeah, of course. I definitely want to give a shout out to my family. They've been here through it all, and I think they've definitely been the people that have pushed me to be the person that I am today. Definitely the Penns Elite crew. Everyone at Penns Elite has given me all the utilities I needed to become the person I am today too. And I think just being at Stonehill, I definitely owe it to Penns Elite for getting me to where I am. Um, NA Elite for showcasing me, giving me the ability to talk to Coach Tara in the first place. And of course, my Stonehill family and all of my friends back at home. I think, now that I'm at Stonehill, although I'm away from like all my friends at home, I think Stonehill has been a new family to me. I've made so many new friends, and all of my teammates are just so amazing. And I think every single one of my teammates now has made a huge impact on my life, and they will continue to for the next 4 years and the rest of my life, honestly. And I just want to give a shout out to all of them because they're going to do such amazing things in their life, and throughout this season I know we're going to do so amazing all because of them. And I owe it to everyone in my life that's come through just for getting me to where I am today. So huge thank you to all of you guys. And honestly, just like I'm so grateful for every single one of these people that have come through. And been a part of my life, and it's just great to have them. So
Well, thank you so much, Brianna, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day and talking about your experience. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And I know you're going to do big things in your college hockey career. And I wish you nothing but the best. And I wish your team nothing but the best for the rest of the season. And thank you so much for coming on. You're probably one of my favorite players on the team already. So I just want to let you know that. But
awesome.
thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to meet you in person someday.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I wish you the best in everything that you do.
Awesome.